Hello, Mark Sargent again. Now it is time to create the wings of this penguin. So first of all, we have this Alt X mode to make it a see-through model. It is pretty nice, but if you take a look at the left view, this Alt X is not enough to properly see the underlying reference image. So what to do? We can actually load a material for this by using the M hotkey to open up the material editor, and there's a new material, so this one is not used. I'm dragging and dropping it onto the model, and to make it see through, I just adjust the opacity, but to make sure I do not confuse this color with the Alt X color, because Alt X is also grayish. So I will add the diffuse and change it to something like a light green. And when opacity is added, or actually just reduced to, for example, 15, it's a good go. It is still visible, so that green is still there, but it gives you a way better see-through mode compared to the Alt X feature, so the X-ray feature. Alright, now to extrude these wings, we need a platform. We need a kind of a polygon that could be extruded. So this polygon, if we take a look at the point, actually this is the point where we want to, replace this point to a polygon that could be extruded. Now how to do this? Because we have a line here, it is really simple to select this entire line as an edge. So we have the center edge selected, and clicking on loop by selecting the entire row and divide it by using chamfer. So Alt W to maximize viewport, and I will use chamfer, but with the settings, so chamfer settings, and this will give the interactive panel, and I will slightly change it to about slightly above 2 centimeters. Okay, that's nice. It's a little bit dense here, but later on we can always repair it. Now this split will help me to create a polygon here at the shoulder. So pressing OK, now it's done. And take a look at the polygon level. By pressing 4, you can go to the polygon level. You can actually select a polygon, and probably this area is good to create the shoulders, but still not that good to create the overall cross section, because it's too the height is too much. We just need to add another division here. The traditional way before Swift Loop was introduced is just selecting edge, Alt R, that's the hotkey for ring, and then connect. So that's one option. Or you can do it now a little bit faster, especially for beginners, that you can go up here in the Swift Loop and select and interactively place an edge loop. Okay, so if you need it here, here, there, you can do it all the time. So what's the benefit of using this? You can actually use the Swift Loop. I just undo. You can actually use the Swift Loop while you are in Polygon mode, because Swift Loop is active there as well, and it does the same. So it places edges, and now you have two polygons. This is divided, and this is the polygon that we are looking for. This will be extruded to shape the arms. Okay. So now that's it. We are still in Polygon mode. And I will take a look at the left view by pressing L. I'm switching my perspective to the left view, and by using the scale, I will increase the size. As you see here, the outline of the shoulders. It's a little bit wider and even a little bit higher. Okay, and check it from the front view where we are. Okay, usually it is just a little bit bent, because this way, when we extrude, extrusion will always be and stay maintaining the perpendicularness to this polygon. So when we are extruding from a flipped and bent tilted polygon, the result is this. So the direction will be updated. When the polygon is pointing in a different location, of course, extrusion will be a little bit different. So this is what the reason why I use the rotation mode E and slightly tilt the polygon for the shoulders. Not much, but slightly. Okay. Now take a look. Before we actually extrude these, I need to explain something. So I will make a copy of the model, selecting it, making a copy. Alright, it is just a simple copy. Selecting Polygon. The material editor, I will switch back to 100 to make it visible. My changes. So the normal situation that you have a platform for creating a shoulder or anything like that, and extruding it by the interactive extrude tool, and then if you turn on show and result, everything will be visible, so the symmetry and the TurboSmooth effect will be also turned on. So I'm pressing on show and result, and the symmetry and TurboSmooth will appear on top of the model. Now what TurboSmooth makes, it does change the structure a bit, and it tries to blend the forms and shapes together. And this is good for creating smooth shapes and smooth transitions, but it is not good if you have to create joints. If you have to create articulated forms, for example, separated body parts. To avoid this oversimplification effect of TurboSmooth, we will add another step between the extrusion and creation of the polygon, and this other step will be Inset. So here at the top, polygon is selected, and we are taking a look at the Inset with the Inset setting, and this will actually create a shrinked polygon. So this polygon is shrunken, and there's a frame around the polygon. Okay, this frame is too large, too wide, so I will reduce it by slightly meticulously, just making it a little bit smaller. So I'm decrease the value, pressing OK. Now it's done, and extrusion comes after this. So Ctrl E for extrusion, or clicking here extrude, or right click extrude. So whatever is comfortable. And now we have the chunk of the arm extruded. So it's not the entire arm, it is just the first top part of the arm. But now take a look and make a comparison between the two. As you see, we have an articulated joint. There's a connection between the two items. It is quite smooth, but it is not oversimplified. So for animation, texturing, or any type of further work, rigging for example, it is a better and much more adjustable joint to work with. Okay, now I will delete it, and moving forward by entering the vertex level. So the problem is, here's our reference image, but this guy is just pointing outside from the reference, so I have to drag it and move it here. Vertices are selected, but even when you have vertices selected, when you have more than one, you can actually rotate them as a group. You can actually scale them as well, and move. Of course, by default, it's always active. So anything is possible in vertex mode as well. Now, what do I have to look for? This arm is, at the moment, this arm is parallel to the body. So when I'm switching to the perspective mode, this simple arm is absolutely parallel to the body, so the directions are the same. But in real life, the wing, the arm, is actually tilted, actually rotated along the axis. So it starts with parallel, but then slightly rotates outside. So what I have to do, I will switch to rotation mode. So I will tilt it a little bit more and start rotating it outside. Okay, so this way, as it's extruded forward, it will be slightly turned outside. Okay, take a look at front, move it, and just a couple corrections, and now this is the first part. So this is the first chunk that we are just creating. Now for extrusion, because we want to extrude polygons, not vertices, we have to go to the polygon level. Now polygon level is active. It remembers our previous selection. So because the selection wasn't updated, the actual selection is the same that we need. So I'm pressing Shift E as the hotkey for extrusion, and just by eye I'm adding another segment to this. Okay, it is easier if you're just building up slowly, because if you are making the corrections on the fly before you're moving on and create tons of vertices and edges, you have a better chance that you do not copy a mistake. Okay, so when you make a mistake somewhere with the adjustment, you don't want to multiply them by copying and extruding the same mistake all along. So make an extrusion, create the corrections, and then go back and go forward with the extrusion. Okay, correction here, just adding on more left view, Alt X side view. I have to move it to the front, and I already see something to be corrected. This elbow kind of point needs to be corrected. Okay, it's up to the front view. Well, it's pretty much promising, but before we are finalizing this, we have to add a slight rotation again to make sure that this whole blade is rotating outside. Okay, pretty much quite close to the silhouette, so I will leave it as it is. Alt X, and again to extrude, polygon mode. We are still in polygon mode, and extrusion. Add another segment, check it at front. Oh, maybe it's too much. I'm just looking for the rotation. Yep, and F3 turns on the wireframe, or Alt X. It helps to see the points behind. So this point, for example, it is covered, but it is there. So it is still, these are two front points. So from the front view, I will just move them back. But here I have 2 points, one behind the other. So I'm holding down Control, moving it, and taking it. Right, the correction is done, and take a look at the left view. Okay, it is these points are a little bit behind, so regarding to the silhouette, I'm moving these to the front as well. Maybe this one, this pair. I'm always grabbing the pair, so the front pair and the back pair. And to add another segment, what we have to do, switch to polygon mode and Shift E to extrude, or from the ribbon, extrusion. And again, front view. We're almost finishing, so one segment left, and a slight rotation. And left view, Alt X, vertex mode, move mode, correct it just by 2 points. It's pretty close, pretty nice. And here we go with the last one, last extrusion. So perspective, zooming in, Alt X. So I see the whole body, everything is there, and 4 to the polygon level, and extrude again. It's a tiny last extrusion. So as you see, our focus is just to keep this as simple as possible, and the last polygons, the last work to do. Alright, just snap was turned on accidentally, so I will move it back because snap will snap my item to the front. Okay, Now Alt X, I will maximize the viewport because now I really have to check what I just did. So TurboSmooth is turned on, and the issue, what I see, it is some qualities are there, but it is still not really that shape. For example, the ends are not that pointy, and I think the width, the overall width is not there. So how to fix this? Left view, take a look at left view, Alt X to make it see-through. Now it's not a good option to use Alt X, so I will use the trick with the material editor, and opacity is 100, but I will just reduce it to 15. Super duper see-through, F4 to turn off the wireframe, and now switching back to vertex mode. Okay, because we have to deal with TurboSmooth, we have to make sure that the show end result is turned on while we are checking our final shape, because the final shape is not this editable poly level. This is the working shape. Our final shape to be rendered is the TurboSmooth level, so this smooth level. And this is why I always have to keep in mind that the final silhouette is defined by the final modifier, and in this case the final modifier is the TurboSmooth. So there is a lot of offset. Oh, it's pretty close. The problem here is the width, so that will be just updated. And it seems to me that these 2 points needs to be grabbed anyway. Okay. Okay, look at the perspective. Alt X. Now the width is updated, so check it from the front. Okay, these 2 points, we need to go it sideways to follow the silhouette. These 2 points, again, this needs to be go to sideways. This one as well, so both of them. These two guys, yep, and same here. So I'm checking everything from all directions. All right, now opacity back to 100. Alt X exit, F4 exit, and now it is time to inspect the model in the 3D view. Okay, it's pretty cool. This is, I guess it's too much because polygons are overlapping, so one polygon is sinking into the other one. It is not optimal. So anyway, I will pull them out even more. Okay, but it is pretty close, and the rough shape of the arms are done. Okay, the next step will be the overall head shape, and then the legs, and of course we'll make the corrections necessary to make this model a bit more lifelike. Okay, thank you for now.